Hey, this is Brady with Powermaster Performance. We're here at Floyd Garrett's Muscle Car Museum in Sevierville, Tennessee to talk about how to properly select and shim a Chevy starter. Today we're going to be installing our Master Torque series starter on this SB2 small block. The Master Torque is good for up to about 13:1 compression, has an aluminum housing and aluminum encased solenoid to help dissipate heat. For more information on any of our starters, go to powermasterperformance.com or visit us on Facebook. First, be sure to use the proper knurled starter bolt included with your starter. Also make sure that your engine block is free of any paint or grease. Now that we've got the starter properly mounted and installed, the starter bolts torqued down to 30 foot-pounds. Anywhere from 30 to 35 foot-pounds is preferred. Now we need to check for the shimming. Now there's two different measurements we need to take. There's a couple different ways, but we need to engage this starter gear. You can either put voltage to the ignition side, which you don't want to do for more than about 30 seconds, or you can actually pry the gear out. Just use your fingers and a screwdriver. Now that we have the starter gear engaged in the flywheel, there are two measurements that we need to take. Using a standard size paperclip as a feeler gauge, we're going to check the mesh between the flywheel gear and the pinion gear. This one's a little bit tight, and after checking at least two more spots on the flywheel, we're going to go ahead and add one of the block shims to the top of the starter. The second measurement to take is the starter depth engagement. The starter gear should engage the flywheel about half to 2/3 the thickness of the flywheel. This one goes a little bit too far, and we're going to go ahead and add one of the inner shims to make sure that gear doesn't extend out too far. Now that we have our starter measurements, we're going to go ahead and install the starter inner body shim. On our Infoclock style starters, there's a round inner shim that goes behind the block plate, between the block plate and the center section of the starter body. We'll start by removing the Allen head bolts that hold our Infoclock style ring on the front of the starter. With the Infoclock bolts and ring removed, simply remove the starter block plate. Install the inner shim on the starter center section and reinstall the block plate. Now is an excellent time to clock your starter. Our Infoclock style design allows you to rotate the starter head 360 degrees. Decide where you want the starter, use some blue thread sealant, and torque the bolts in sequence to 50 inch-pounds. Start by installing the inner bolt. Be sure to leave it loose to install the shim. Install the outer bolt. And torque to 35 foot-pounds. Now that we've got our starter reinstalled, we'll go ahead and double check all of our clearances. The gear depth looks really good. We're at about 60% of the flywheel thickness. And mesh looks really good as well. We'll go ahead and double check two more spots on the flywheel and we should be all set. By taking a few extra minutes to shim your starter properly, will ensure a long and happy life for both your ring gear and your starter. For Ford and Mopar information, be sure to check out our website, and thank you for watching.